So very recently, I've uploaded a best going second cards of the format, but today I plan on doing just that, but for the best going first cards. Of course though, you already know it, my man. Before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. I know we can do it, and now let's get right into it. So first things first, we have the more obvious blowouts, the cards that stop you from accessing your extra deck. These cards are Artifact Sanctum as well as Dimensional Barrier, especially when you're summoning Scythe off of the Sanctum. I think these cards are pretty much always good in any given format, to be honest, because everybody and their mother needs to summon from the extra deck, and Dimensional Barrier can even cover some other non-extra deck kind of decks, such as Ritual. Not to mention that Sanctum can also summon Lancia, which is really good against Flunderies, because not only does it kind of stop them in their tracks with their inability to recover back their Flunderies and the Banished and also use the field spell, but on top of that, they can't evenly you. So in other words, with one Lancia, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That was the worst joke ever. Alright, next up are 2 cards that freshly came out of the ban list, even though they were not banned, they were just limited, and these cards would be Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure. Even though Macrocosmos covers more ground than Dimensional Fissure, I would still say that D-Fissure is a better card because you can use it right away, it's more flexible. So if you're going first and you have something like a Robina and D-Fissure, you go activate D-Fissure first and then normal summon a Robina. I know it's a really complicated 2-card combo, you have to sequence it perfectly, and at least that way you play around Effect Veiler, Herald of Orange Light, and Tearlament Softness, whereas if it was something like Macrocosmos, then you would start losing to Veiler, and your Macrocosmos would be kind of dead until the turn 2, where you set it and then flip it on your opponent's turn. And I know this is kind of like a joke and it will never really come up, but Macrocosmos actually does include an effect to special summon a monster, so it can randomly get negated by Tearlament's Lulu Carols and Stella Morning. Alright, the next card on my list is another card that is extremely broken in Flunderies, but also good in other decks such as Splight and Shroud Brigade out of every deck, and that would be HARPIE'S Featherstorm. Basically, it's a massive one-sided lingering floodgate that pretty much makes your opponent insta-pass turn because they kind of can't do anything if they can't use monster effects, so all they can really do is just set a bunch of spells and traps and that's it, that's all. And I say it's great in Splight because they can actually summon the Harpie Girl, which is a level 2 monster off of the Gigantic Splight, in order to make the HARPIE'S Featherstorm live, and since Harpie Girl is a Harpie monster, that would allow you to use the Featherstorm directly from your hand, which also makes the card great going second. Next up is a very funny card that people already know, but kind of don't really think of because they're always kind of considering the other card that is kind of like its brother, and that would be Kashtira Unicorn. Unlike Fenrir, Unicorn is only really good going first, going second it's actually way worse, but going first I would actually say it's much better than Fenrir because it kind of applies double pressure against your opponent. Not only is Unicorn itself an extremely oppressive card because if your opponent uses a monster effect, you can look at their extra deck and make them lose a card, and since most Tearlaments players right now are only playing 1 Kid Kalos, this could actually spell defeat immediately for a bunch of players. And you can also Surge the Kashtira Birth with the Unicorn, which is another massive interruption against them because whenever they use a spell card, you can banish 3 cards from their graveyard face down. Again, that's absolutely ridiculous because they can't recur back anything with the Crime. And Birth is just a really good card at reviving back your Unicorn or your other Fenrirs or whatever. So 2 major threats off of 1 single card, I'll take that any day of the week. And of course, I have a bunch of monster floodgates that you can easily summon with Mannequin Cat in Splight or Muckracker from the Underworld in just about anything. And these cards are End of Anubis, Thunder King Ryo, Dimension Fortress Weapon, as well as Testudo or Atnemen. End of Anubis is kind of like an Abyss Dweller and Necro Valley all in one. It can easily be summoned off of Muckracker from the Underworld. And then we got Thunder King Ryo, which you can easily summon off of Mannequin Cat in a Splight Mirror match because pretty much everything is Thunder. And that card is pretty much like a Mistake and a Solemn Warning in a way. And then after that, we have Dimension Fortress Weapon, which again is pretty good against Tearlaments because everything is dark and they always need to mill cards. And finally, Testudo Radnemen is also good against Tearlaments and can be summoned against that deck in order to prevent them from special summoning high attack monsters. I obviously have way more cards to cover, but if you want me to cover all of them, then you already know what to do. Smash the like and subscribe button right now. We need to get this video to 1,000 likes. I know we can do it, man. We've been there before, and thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to leave a comment, by the way, if you appreciated this video, if you have any more feedback, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.